Miller Moss has reportedly been benched as USC's quarterback. Dodger for life, Clayton Kershaw elects free agency, and the Rams are about to regain two starting offensive linemen. Good morning. I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the faithful Angelenos Morning Report. It is November 5th, 2024. Election Day. Decision Day? Oh, that might be about another 2 months from now. It's a lovely time to be alive in America. You know, when you think about it, we lead the world in AI for innovation. We have the strongest military in the history of mankind. And we have election officials who don't know how to count once they're done with their fingers and toes. It's really quite lovely when you think about it. Maybe it doesn't make us a third world country. Maybe it just makes us a 2.5 world country. And this is why I plan, after this last look at civilization, to hunker down in the sanctum sanctorum and watch wrestling videos until the whole thing burns to the ground. But hey, what do you say we be happy today? Instead of talking politics, we talk LA sports. And if you like being in the know about LA, clickety-clack the like button. Clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Hit that. It'll let you know when we drop new content. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist, and by all means comment. By the way, we added multiple new subscribers to the Angeleno Familia yesterday. Thank you for getting in on the ground floor. We'll start off with the scoreboard. Detroit 115, Lakers 103. And this is why I simply don't buy in to the alleged Lakers revival with JJ Redick yet. Okay? The Pistons have been absolute garbage for years. They had no reason winning this game. Anthony Davis scored 37 points. Clippers 113, San Antonio 104. All hail the Clippers for finally winning in their new forever home. Norman Powell scored 23 points. Amir Coffey added 21 off the bench. Kings 3, Nashville nothing. Adrian Kempe scored. He added an assist. Darcy Kemper records his 32nd career shutout. College basketball started off last night. 22nd ranked UCLA 85, Rider 80. The new Bruins looked solid in their UCLA debut. Tyler Bilodeau, he came from Oregon State. He scored 18 points. Former Trojan Kobe Johnson added 12 points, 8 rebounds. And speaking of the Trojans, they overwhelmed Chattanooga 77-51. Chibuzo Agbo scored 17 points to lead the Trojans in Eric Musselman's coaching debut over at Heritage Hall. Meanwhile today, if you do not want to watch a bunch of talking heads counting the votes from Florida and South Carolina, the Kings are playing at Minnesota at 5. Let's get to the news. You know, it seemed like only yesterday we were talking about how in Lincoln Riley's eyes, Miller Moss still had a vice-like grip on the starting quarterback gig, right? Because it was only yesterday we were talking about it. Today, on the other hand, multiple outlets are reporting that Moss has been benched for Jaden Mayava, a transfer who led UNLV to its first bowl game since 2013 last year. If this is true, and it has not yet been confirmed by Riley, honestly, I get it. It makes sense for a number of reasons. One, you could argue that USC's offense has regressed as Moss has regressed. If you recall, Moss made this stunning debut in his first start at the Holiday Bowl last year, then followed it up in the season opener by leading the Trojans to an upset victory over LSU. But USC has lost 4 of its last 5 games. And not only does that fall on the coach, it does fall on the quarterback. The way that Riley coaches, the quarterback is literally an extension of his thoughts on the field. It's almost like if you're playing Madden, that should be the connection between Riley and his quarterback. So it is a reflection on both of them. They are now in danger of missing a bowl game after being considered a legit playoff contender. Now, it is definitely fair to suggest that Moss was underlined by a very leaky offensive line, because after all, he was considered to be this excellent decision maker. That was supposed to be something that he had that Caleb Williams might not have had, per se. And by the way, a wide receiver core comprised mostly of sophomores. But it still falls on the quarterback, and Moss threw 3 interceptions in a loss last week at Washington. Another reason, Mayava completed almost 2/3 of his passes for over 3,000 yards while with the running Rebels last year. Third reason, Riley's career suggests that he prefers to tailor his offense to athletic, creative quarterbacks, which is Mayava, most definitely. Absolutely fitting that mold. Consider the fact that Riley's other quarterbacks that he built his career on, Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, and of course Caleb Williams. Fourth reason, if you go back to training camp, Riley wouldn't commit to Moss until days before the season opener, which suggests that Mayava was making strides. And a fifth reason, Mayava will, to make that decision today, Mayava's going to have 2 full weeks of practice to try to get acclimated with the first unit before taking on Nebraska. Now, having said all that, this move still comes with considerable risk. Mayava threw 10 interceptions last year at UNLV. So big news with USC football. Let me know what you think in the comments thread. Remember when Clayton Kershaw said he was a Dodger for life? That was so Friday, right? Kershaw turned down his $10 million deal for next season, which effectively makes him a free agent. Now, I wouldn't really too much about him going somewhere else. He always said, he has been saying he wanted to retire as a Dodger. And every time the Texas Rangers came knocking on the door, Kershaw has been loyal to the blue. But dude, just take the $10 million extension, get your 3,000 strikeout, and just enjoy your life. There's no reason to make this any more difficult than it already is. As for other potential free agents, Teoscar Hernandez picked up an offer sheet from the Dodgers on Monday. Now, an offer sheet is a contract given to a restricted free agent. All the restricted free agents across MLB will be, if they are extended an offer sheet, it's going to be worth about $21 million. Hernandez will have until November 19th to either take it or leave it. It's doubtful he's going to take it, despite the fact that he said he wants to stay in LA. There should be a bidding war for his services, which should drive up the price way beyond $21 million. Should Hernandez sign elsewhere, the Dodgers would get a compensation pick in the draft. These extra picks, by the way, are one of the reasons why the Dodgers are always praised for having an elite farm system. They might not have the top pick in the draft, they just have so many picks, especially through compensation picks, to where they keep reloading in the farm system. They lost Corey Seager, got a pick. Cody Bellinger, got a pick. Now, Walker Buehler, on the other hand, did not get a qualifying offer. Without having a source in the Dodgers' inner sanctum, my guess is they simply didn't think Buehler was worth $21 million. And I can't blame them for thinking that. Despite the fact that if the Dodgers have one of those gold championship jerseys, I'm probably going to get one with Buehler's name. There are other reasons Hernandez and Buehler were treated the way they were, by the way. According to Fangraphs, the Dodgers' so-called competitive tax figure, i.e. the payroll that MLB is going to look at, for 2025 is almost $271 million. Now, they are over 2 salary cap thresholds, but the one that is most punitive, they haven't hit that yet. They only have about $30 million in space to reach that. So that would probably explain it. Andrew Friedman will again be pressed in the spring about a 6-man pitching rotation. This is assuming that Kershaw returns. And even if Buehler and Jack Flaherty don't return, if they don't, because you could assume Tyler Glasnow, Yoshinobu Yamamoto are going to lead the rotation, right? Then you assume Kershaw. I could name you 7 other guys who would have a shot at 2 spots if it were a 5-man rotation. You could easily say you still have 6 to pluck 3 for a 6-man. And by the way, that includes former All-Star Tony Gonsolin. We have a lot of Dodger stuff to talk about. There's a side note. There's an analytics spaz who is projecting the asking prices for free agents, what they probably will sign for. Flaherty is projected to get a contract of 4 years, $92 million. Teoscar Hernandez, 3 years, $69 million. Buehler, 2 years, $32 million. I don't get celebrities. I tried stand-up comedy. I was a comic for about 10 plus years, more than 10. Thankfully, I was never a celebrity. All I ask of celebrities is that they don't go to Epstein Island or a Diddy party. Is that too much to ask? But the latest kick from celebrities to make them feel more like us, the great unwashed, is by taking blue-collar jobs for a day. President Trump at McDonald's. My wife adores Lana Del Rey. She put in a shift at a Waffle House. And now, two-time World Series champion Kike Hernandez picks up a shift at a Raising Cane's in Alhambra. Why? Stop trying to be like us, okay? Stay in your lane. You're not fooling anybody. And I like you, Kike. You're going home to a Puerto Rican supermodel wife, okay? While your coworkers hope their phone bill is paid so they can hit up Pornhub. What are we talking about here? Like Kike Hernandez going home, oh honey, work was so tough. If you don't mind, can we just go to sleep together in these 7,000 thread silk sheets? Just like my coworkers at Raising Cane's. There will be a dogfight for minutes on the Rams' offensive line very soon. Steve Avila and Jonah Jackson will resume practicing this week, according to the LA Daily News. Jackson missed 6 weeks with a shoulder injury. He is expected to play Monday against Miami. Avila had a sprained knee. These two were part of what was supposed to be a dominant interior offensive line, but they both got hurt. Backups Bo Limmer and Justin Dietich, both of them rookies, and Dietich wasn't even drafted out of USC. They've acquitted themselves well. They're going to wind up losing their spots, obviously, but not without a fight. Sean McVay said the Rams have not had major talks, by the way, about additions to the roster. I say that because the NFL trade deadline is today. Here's something I thought that was interesting. Seattle presumably thought that if they modeled the same overtime plan that Detroit executed against the Rams in Week 1, that a win was totally in the bag. If you recall, the Lions in Week 1 took the overtime kickoff and just trampled the Rams' defense. That was iffy at best against the run. 7 plays and an 8-play drive for the game-winning touchdown. So the Seahawks, they're like, okay, we'll get the ball. We'll do the same thing. The problem is, McVay said that Rams defenders stay after practice to work on run defense. And it made a difference because Seattle pushed all the way to the Rams 16 in overtime. And instead of going for a chip shot field goal that would have given them a shot to win, they went for it on 4th down. LA stopped them, got the ball, won the game on the next drive. Rookie defensive lineman Braden Fisk was asked if stopping Seattle felt cathartic after the failure in Detroit, to which he replied, quote, "Not really sure what cathartic means. We just had to buckle up. We remembered that. The Detroit game. They scored kind of easily," unquote. Meanwhile, with the Chargers, here's something that's going to go absolutely nowhere. Jim Harbaugh is asking the NFL why Justin Herbert isn't getting any roughing the passer calls. They sent a series of clips to the NFL, which I'm sure were dragged and dropped straight into the recycle bin. I mean, seriously, we hear about this every so often from teams. Oh, we're going to send clips to the league. That'll solve it. That's like those customer service lackeys from some third world country who tell me to send an email to their supervisor that'll get answered like never. Just craziness. Why would you? Okay, fair. We've all seen Herbert take some ugly shots. A Saints lineman 2 weeks ago put Herbert into a figure four leg lock that would have made Ric Flair proud. But the NFL is not going to solve this. The universe has a way of figuring these things out. The Chargers got the win, and the Saints coach got fired last night. As a fifth-round pick, Tarheeb Still was supposed to make his mark on special teams, and that's only if he made the roster. But with 3 Bolts cornerbacks out due to injury, Still has been pressed into action, and honestly, the dude's been terrific, particularly Sunday in Cleveland. In addition to his first career interception, the rookie tipped a pass that led to another pick for Chargers teammate Elijah Molden. After the game, Still told The Athletic how fortunate he felt. Quote, "I used to play with Derwin James on Madden all the time. Now he's my safety." Gabriel Peck of the Galaxy was named Newcomer of the Year by Major League Soccer on Monday. The dude scored 16 goals with 14 assists in 33 matches. The Galaxy had picked him up from Brazilian club Vasco da Gama as part of a conscious effort to become younger, more dynamic on offense. They added Joseph Paintsill as an opposing wing, and as a result, opponents have to pick their poison on who to stop. Goals could come from any of the 3 forwards or midfielder Ricky Puig. In prior years, the Galaxy idea was to feed the ball to one elite striker and hope for the best. Now you don't know where it's coming. Peck and the Galaxy have pulled defenses apart with their speed and their options, and they have feasted on the results. But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. Are you relieved or feeling sad about Miller Moss losing his job? For that matter, what do you think about all these Dodger options for free agency? And if you enjoy the content, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We're talking LA sports every single day, provided the country survives after this. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Cam Cortel Queso production. Take care.